night with 2 of his team-high 39 points coming on that nasty step back. Ooh, Kevin Durant couldn't help but shake his head. And on the other end of the spectrum, I don't know where that came from, 33-year-old Garrett Temple barely getting up for the dunk. KD was less impressed with that, giving it a bit of a thumbs down.
I really like KD being so invested in the team this early in the year, knowing that he almost assuredly is not going to play for them this season, but still being there every day, being a part of the culture they're trying to continue to build in Brooklyn, even if KD and Kyrie have been new ingredients to that culture that they were building last season. But by the way, that first Kyrie play, I think Kyrie makes like 7 plays a game more impressive than that. I didn't understand. I saw that going viral last night. I didn't understand.
It's imitation of KD type of thing. Like it's step back type of thing.
I feel like a doofus.
Did you just get schooled?
That should not be the first time.
Oh, man. Good.
Wow.
So he was doing KD's.
There you
Damn.
go. There you go.
All right, now it makes more sense.
Okay.
All right, light bulb just flickered over my head. Turned on. Good job, Vincent. Now you finally did something.
Here we
The Rockets segment is trash.
Vinny, the Lakers are sitting atop the Western Conference. King James is a big reason why, posting triple-doubles in back-to-back games and leading the NBA in assists.
Oh.
Nick missed on that one.
Seems important.
After Friday night's game, LeBron hopped on the gram. He posted this quote. He was big mad, Nick. My drive and passion will outweigh your hate.
He's talking to you guys.
Nothing you could do to stop me. You only help me. Hashtag revenge season. Hashtag the kid from Akron. Vincent, can it re-energize LeBron lead the Lakers to an NBA title? Is he re-energized?
Whatever. Whatever. That sounds nice. Like some of the defensive metrics that have been mentioned over the past maybe week or so, he's defending more, which basically only shows he wasn't defending at all last year, probably because of the groin injury, partly because of the lack of investment initially, with that Lakers team. Can he lead them to another championship? Absolutely. He's, if not the best player in basketball, at worst, he's top 3. And that's no small feat in itself. So my concern with the Lakers, point guard play, shooting, and how this defense is going to travel over the course of 82 games. Anthony Davis and Dwight Howard, that's scary inside from a rebounding, from a shot blocking, from a defensive all-around standpoint. You're asking Dwight Howard to do the 2 things that's made him a Hall of Famer. Yep. And then you add in Anthony Davis, who's playing the best ball of his career. So now LeBron can beat LeBron. The question is, will they have enough to beat the Clippers? I think that's their only competition in the Western Conference. I will grant you, Nick, that the Lakers are really good. I will grant you that LeBron is playing like a Mount Rushmore guy. I can't grant you that they're going to cakewalk to the finals.
Well, here's the thing. I think the Lakers, when you look at the star power of the guys at the top, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they're arguably the best tandem in the NBA. So, yeah, they're only going to be a handful of teams that are going to be able to compete at that level when it matters the most. Now, going back to your point about LeBron James and how he played last year defensively, I think that was as a result of having to do so much on the offensive end because you had so many young players around him. This year, it's a little bit different. You got veterans around LeBron now. You got Avery Bradley. You got Danny Green. You got Anthony Davis. I mean, you're going to have players that are accomplished and that have played meaningful basketball in the postseason. So I think that when you have those guys on that court with him, LeBron James doesn't have to do everything, especially on the offensive end, which is why I think he's back to being himself and more engaged on the defensive side. And I don't worry about the defense's ability to be able to travel. I trust defense, especially when we get to postseason contention. That's one of the things that you can hang your hat on, which is why LeBron James made it a point after that Mavs game to talk about how that's going to be the identity of the club. Their defense in the second half and overtime of that Mavs game is what led to them having opportunities to score in transition, actually to get back into the game, to force overtime, and eventually win the game. So based on what we've seen from this Lakers team this early in the season, I trust that they have the formula. They have what it takes to be able to compete and win a title.
The 3 teams, let's take Houston out of it. Let me just assume that I agree with you guys on the Clippers, okay? Just for this, so we don't have to argue about the Clippers. 3 teams that would present the most problems for the Lakers: Clippers, Sixers, Bucks. What those 3 teams all have in common, I think, is going into this year, we all believe those were going to be 3 of the top 6 or 7 defenses in basketball. Philly, before we knew that the Clippers were getting Kawhi and Paul George, Philly, it looked like, oh my God. With you bring in Al Horford with a team already that long, they should be the #1 defense. The Clippers then bring in the guys they do. Milwaukee was an extraordinary defensive team last year. Utah would be in the conversation, but those 3 teams. If the Lakers defense is even close to on par with those other teams, then they are the best team in basketball by a good margin, because their offense is going to be better than all of those three teams. Milwaukee may be the one question mark, because Milwaukee showed an ability to have a super elite offense last season. But this, of course, does start and end with the tandem you mentioned, most notably the LeBron portion of that. When the Lakers lost, the one game this year they lost, when they played the terrible fourth quarter against the Clippers, when LeBron looked bad, when LeBron looked like, wait, is LeBron entering a different phase of his career? Is year 17? I said right here, the Lakers have one path to greatness. LeBron being an MVP candidate. Anything short, if LeBron is just an all-star this year, they are drawing dead, because they don't have you have questions about point guards. They ain't got a point guard. Their best point guard's Caruso, the balding kid. And I actually wish he played more, but he is their best point guard. Rondo coming back will not be good for them. I don't think Rondo is a great fit, just like I didn't think Boogie Cousins was going to be a great fit. But what they have is the best big man in basketball and the best player in basketball, no matter what position you want him to play. People can say he should be playing the 4. Well, instead he's playing the 1. And how's he responding? He's leading the NBA in assists. You mentioned his defense is better compared to last season. It's also better compared to every player in the league this year, where, again, tiny sample size, he's 3rd in defensive win shares, and his team is the #1 defense in basketball. If you have the #1 and the #4 player in basketball, wherever you slot Anthony Davis, you are going to be not only in the title contention, you are going to be the title favorite as long as you have a competent rest of roster. And you mentioned an important name. Dwight Howard's been a revelation. Dwight Howard has been exceptional for them, knowing exactly what his role needs to be. Right now, they're the best team in the league.
Well, here's the thing. You can't win a title in this modern NBA without credible shooting. I don't think you can depend on LeBron to be that 40-point, 3-point shooter that he was in Miami. He's not that guy. He doesn't have the legs for it. Danny Green is shooting 45%. I can count on that being somewhere around there because of the type of shots that he's going to get. But Caldwell Pope and a lot of these other guys have not shown an ability to hit open shots. You can't win no matter how well you're playing inside. Over the course of a 7-game series, regardless of the talent disparity, you have to be able to shoot to loosen up defenses. And one guy is not going to be able to loosen up defense.
Well, and that remains to be seen whether the other guys can come to the party. KCP, Quinn Cook, Avery Bradley. You're going to have to get contributions from those guys.
Absolutely.
They're going to have to be Kuzma.
But he's more of a wing than he's a wing guard.
But those guys are going to have to be 3-and-D guys to play alongside LeBron. We know that's always been the question. Okay, you got LeBron James. You might have a stretch 4, but who are the other guys around that are going to be able to space the court the right way? That's the question that remains to be seen, but I have confidence because LeBron and Anthony Davis are playing at such a high level that part of the team will get figured out.
And LeBron makes everybody a better 3-point shooter because of his passing and because of the space, because of making the right play. But I'm going to put it back to you. Does Philly have that shooting? Because I got to see it. Do the Clippers have that shooting? Do we know they have that shooting? I don't know they have that shooting. Gallo's gone. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is gone. Paul George is a great player. He's not some reliable playoff 3-point shooter. Kawhi, no one can take anything away from Kawhi when he plays. He is exceptional in all aspects, and he's added the playmaking aspect to it. But he's their most reliable shooter on that basketball team. So we can't say for the Lakers it's a question mark, or it's a question mark for any team that doesn't have shooting, and then say, but the Clippers are the obvious competition.
Here's the point that I will say. Who do you trust to go out there to evaluate the team that they have? And if they need to find shooting, I will grant you that shooting is the easiest thing to find in the open market. But which franchise, which front office do you trust?
Oh, I trust the Clippers.
Okay, so take that point there. From a franchise evaluation standpoint, from a flexibility standpoint, and also with the Lakers, what guard do you trust to be able to create his own shot outside of LeBron? You're looking at point LeBron as being a great thing because statistically it looks well. You need LeBron to be a playmaker. You don't need him to be the playmaker in your first 5.
Sure, but here's the reason why I reject which of these teams is going to get better at the deadline. Both these teams have pushed all their chips to the middle of the table. They ain't got no picks. There's no trade the Clip. It doesn't matter how great Jerry West is. All those picks are in Oklahoma City. They don't have any young asset. All those assets are in Oklahoma City. Aside from the addition of Andre Iguodala, which is going to go to one of the LA teams, these teams are who they are going to be. They have no move to make. The Nuggets have a move they could make. The Jazz might have a move they could make. The Lakers and Clippers are who they are. And so I just don't think there's going to, the advantage you have from Jerry West was pressed this offseason, but is going to be muted during the season, at least I feel, because I don't know what assets they have to use to acquire somebody new.